Believing in fairies is part of the wonder of childhood. But as adults, we leave all that magic behind. Or do we? Tonight, I'd like you to meet Anne Atkins, who actually lives in the closest thing I've ever seen to a magic castle. When she was a child, Anne had daydreams about fairies. As an adult, she dreamt of living in a church. Today, her home environment reflects her fantasy world. Anne, tell me, when did you first discover that you could see fairies?
At about the age of 3, Felicity. I was living in the bush with my parents and sister in Western Australia, and was always playing in the sand, in the bush, with the nature spirits, which of course are the fairies.
And now you live in a beautiful fairy castle. Tell me, how did you find this?
I announced to a friend in the morning, 3 years ago, that I wanted to buy a church in Richmond. That afternoon she rang me and told me about this. That evening I met the agent and bought it.
So the good fairy spirits were looking after you then?
Absolutely. From the moment I walked through the door here, I knew that this was the place for me. There was no doubt about it.
And tell me where you found this beautiful backdrop.
I found it here, rolled up in a corner. Apparently it was used in this church hall in a production in 1929 of Fairies at the Bottom of My Garden. And this wand was on top of it, and apparently was also used in the same production. So wasn't that destiny? The hall was waiting here for me.
But transforming the church hall into a home wasn't just a simple matter of waving a wand. And what state was the church in when you first bought it?
Well, when I moved in, actually, I moved into one area surrounded by junk and rubble with a portaloo. So it took a lot of tolerance, but it was worth it.
3 years on, there are mezzanine floors at either end of the hall, accommodating bedrooms and a bathroom. Beneath Anne's bedroom is a spacious kitchen, adjacent to a laundry and a guest bathroom. The open-plan living area is enormous, big enough, in fact, for Anne to hold medieval-style banquets. Only the bathrooms are fully enclosed by floor-to-ceiling walls. But despite the vast open spaces in her home, Anne has created a comfortable and cosy atmosphere.
Basically, I've created little areas, vignettes all around that are cosy, they're very intimate. The living room, for instance, it's encased by the lounge chairs, and there's a television set, coffee table, lovely artifacts, lots of soft drapery. And one does feel very cozy in that particular area. And the kitchen, it's really designated by the use of pillars and a lowered ceiling. And so that's cozy too.
Wishes. Lots of wishes. Wonderful. Here we have wish. Woo! Magic wishes.
Tucked away at the opposite end of the building is Anne's studio, where she makes sparkling treasures for her Wonder Wings fairy shops. There's one in Richmond, the first of its kind in Australia, and one at Chadstone. Little girls in frothy net tutus with sparkling wings sprouting from their backs gather here to celebrate birthdays or to hear enchanting fairy stories. They sit on toadstools in the fairy garden, sip lemonade and nibble fairy cakes.
Here is where the magic becomes very strange.
This is the Wand Workshop, Felicity, and I absolutely love it. This is my paradise with all the glitter and the colour, the sparkles. I come here to play. It's beautiful. I make all the wands and the decorated books. Everything that glitters is made on this